Hello everyone, I am Princey from class ninth. Now I am going to give a presentation about right. The idea of human rights is that each one of us, no matter who we are or where we are born, is entitled to the same basic rights and freedoms. Humans' rights are not privileges and they cannot be granted or revoked. Who enforces them and how? The history behind the concept of human rights is a long one. Throughout the centuries and across societies, religion and cultures, we have struggled with definitely notions of rightfulness, justice and right. But one of the most modern affirmations of universal human rights emerged from the ruin of World War II with the creation of the United Nations. The treaty that stabilized the UN gives as one of its purpose to reaffirm faith in fundamental human rights. And with the same spirit, in 1948 the UN General Assembly adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. This document, written by an international committee chaired by Eleanor Roosevelt, lays the basis of modern international human rights law. The declaration is based on the principle that all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. It lists 30 articles recognizing, among other things, the principle of non-discrimination and the right to life and liberty. It refers to negative freedoms like the freedom from torture or slavery, as well as positive freedoms such as the freedom of movement and residence. It compasses basic civil and political rights such as freedom of expression, religion, or peaceful assembly, as well as social, economic, and cultural rights such as the right to education and the right to freely choose one's occupation and be paid and treated fairly. The declaration takes no side as to which rights are more important, insisting on their universality, indivisibility, and independence. In all the past decades, international human rights law has grown, deepening and expanding our understanding of what human rights are and how to better protect them. So, if these principles are so well developed, then why are human rights abused and ignored time and time all over the world? The problem in general is that it is not at all easy to universally enforce these rights or to punish transgressors. The UDHR itself, despite being highly authoritative and respected, is a declaration, not a hard law. So when individual countries violate it, the mechanisms to address those violations are weak. For example, the main bodies within the UN in charge of protecting human rights mostly monitor and investigate violence, but they cannot force a state to say change a policy or compensate a victim. That's why some criticize say it's native to consider human rights given in a world where state interests wield so much power. Critics also question the universality of human rights and emphasize that their development has been heavily guided by a small number of mostly Western nations to the detriment of inclusiveness. The result? A general bias in favor of civil political liberties over socio-political rights and of individual over collective or group rights. Others defend universal human rights law and point that positive role they have on setting international standards and helping activities in their campaigns. They also point out that not international human rights instruments are powerless. Human rights law is constantly evolving